Try yours.
Here we go.
What makes airplanes, or basketballs, or people fly? It's air. As well as a bunch of other things that we learn when we try to make a giant paper airplane.
So that didn't work.
All on this episode of Science Max, Experiments at Large.
Greetings, Science Maximites. Today, we're going to be looking at air. I know, it's kind of hard to look at air because it's invisible. But we can look at something that uses air to move. That's right, paper airplanes! Ha-ha! Ho-ho! Look out! Woohoo! Believe it or not, you can learn all kinds of science from paper airplanes. So let's build some. We are going to do a paper airplane which actually holds the Guinness World Record for the longest paper airplane flight. Pretty cool, huh? First, you fold the paper in half like this, but then you open it back up again, and then you fold in the corners like this. Now, don't worry if this is really, really fast because you have all the instructions on our website. Then you can fold the paper down like this, make sure it's about 2 centimeters from the bottom where the point is there, and then you fold the corners in just like you did before. But these ones are just guide folds. We use guide folds to help us fold other folds, basically. Now, we fold again using the guide fold lines you just made. And I like to call this fold the shirt collar fold because it sort of looks like a shirt collar when you fold it. Now, we fold again on the fold that you made before. Folds in like that and in like that. And now we fold the point down to touch the edges right like that. And this is a guide fold, so do it very strong. Unfold it. Now you fold it in half like this. And see that guide fold line that we made there? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take the tip and you're gonna fold it in to touch the guide fold line like that. And this is also a guide, and open it up. And here's the trickiest part. See how it's bent like that? You push it open like this, and this is called a pocket fold because you wanna make a little pocket and push it up against there. Fold it flat like this. Fold this tip down over there like that. Then fold it around the back side. Then fold the wings down like this and like this. And here's the extra special bit. We're gonna use some stabilizers on this plane. Fold up the stabilizers on the ends of the wings and ta-da, the Sky King paper airplane fold. Now, as Science Maximites, you know that there's lots of ways you can learn how to fold paper airplanes. Get an adult and look up paper airplane designs on the internet, or take a book out of the library on how to fold paper airplanes. And of course, this isn't Science Max, Experiments at Large, if we don't max it out. So that's right, we're gonna make a giant paper airplane. I'm going to the Ontario Science Centre to do just that. Uh-oh, that's never good.
Whoa, Phil, I'm so sorry. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, Justin. I never know where the portal's gonna spit me out. This is the Science Center, right?
Well, that's right. In fact, you've landed in our paper airplane laboratory.
This is what happens to me, Justin. I make a paper airplane, I fold it perfectly, but then it flies like that, or it does that, and I don't know how to fix it.
Okay, well, that will happen. But you know what? There are really only 3 ways your paper airplane can fly, and I can teach you how to control each and every one of them.
Great, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Science Max presents How to Fly Your Paper Airplane. Is your paper airplane spinning around and around? Well, that's what you call roll, chum. Roll is what you call it when any plane moves like this or like this. Here's how to fix it. Bend up the back of one wing to create more lift on one side, and it'll balance out. Happy days.
Okay, so let me try mine.
What's that? Your airplane goes straight up or straight down? Sounds like you have a problem with pitch. Sorry, pitch. Pitch is when your airplane moves like this or like this. To fix it, bend the ends of both wings up if you pitch down, or down if you pitch up. Adding a weight to the nose also helps if you've got a problem with high pitch. High pitch.
Great, great, your turn.
All right, here we go.
Is your plane turning this way or that way? Yeah. Yeah? No. Yeah. Yeah is when your plane moves like this or like this. To fix it, bend the back of the plane like the rudder of a boat.
Okay, great. Let me try mine. Not bad. You try yours.
Real?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
You know what? Are you ready to build a giant paper airplane?
I think I am.
Fantastic. I just need to get one more expert. I will be right back.
Cool.
Hey, David, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Good. So David's going for his Masters of Applied Science.
In aerospace science and engineering.
So you know all about planes.
I do.
Great.
Yeah.
So what does this have to do with planes? What is this?
So this is a water channel, and it allows us to test airplanes in it before we put them in the sky.
Great. We'll have my airplane, and we'll just put it in here, and we'll test it.
Please, it's made of paper.
Yeah?
And in the water, it becomes soggy.
Well, how do we test our paper airplane if we can't put it in the water?
Well, this is a classic airfoil shape.
Yes. Now, is that what you call it, airfoil?
An airfoil, yeah. So the cross-sectional shape of a wing is called an airfoil.
Okay.
And that's what generates the lift. Fortunately, air and water are both fluids, so they behave in the same way. I could push ink into the water, and that's going to allow us to see how the fluid flows over the aircraft. So if you tilt its nose up a little bit, you'll be able to see that the shape of the airfoil is actually pushing the water downwards.
Oh, yeah, you're
And-
right. The ink doesn't go straight. It follows the wing
follows
down.
the shape of the wing down, and we have a lower pressure on the top of the wing and a higher pressure on the bottom of the wing, which pushes it upwards.
Right, and
generating lift.
that creates lift.
Exactly.
So you guys use this all the time in aerospace?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty
Absolutely.
neat. So, are you ready to design an even bigger plane, a giant paper plane?
I'm confident we can do a good job.
I am excited about it. Let's do it right now. The big paper's over this way. This way. Okay.
Here's the plan. Take a giant piece of paper and fold the exact same airplane we did in the lab. The small one flew. The large one should too, right? Well, let's find out.
I believe we are ready to make our giant paper airplane. All we need is a giant piece of paper! Yeah! Okay, be very careful getting off it. Whoa! All right, let's fold it. Nose on that side. Okay.
Remember, we're folding the exact fold we did in the lab, only on a larger scale.
We have a tape malfunction down here.
But it's a lot harder to do with a giant piece of paper.
Fantastic. That's pretty good.
Okay. There.
Perfect.
Yeah. Giant paper airplane! Ha ha ha!
This doesn't look too much like an airplane.
No, it's way too floppy.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it just needs, like, when I throw it, maybe it'll catch the winds, and then the wings will come up like that.
Yep. Maybe.
Like, you know, I'll just.
Give it a try, Phil.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. Giving it a try. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, here we go. Wow. What do you think?
Oh man.
I think we can make some improvements.
It sort of felt like a bed sheet. I feel if I just threw my lab coat, it'd probably look. Let me just see. Okay, ready? Yeah, it looks pretty much the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I didn't know this, but when you fold paper that big, it sort of behaves like fabric.
Yeah, very floppy.
Very floppy. What if we supported the plane, like we put struts or something in it, like this stick? If we put it on the wings, it'll stop it from being so floppy.
Right, and you can tape it on.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We need bigger sticks.
Yeah.
Really lightweight.
Like
Like
foam.
Yeah,
Stuff?
and like hollow tubes.
Hollow tubes. Good.
tubes.
Good. So we'll put a whole bunch on there. We'll tape them on so that it doesn't flop around.
Yeah.
We'll try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got
Yeah.
something.
Okay, great. Let's go.
All right.
Bernoulli's theorem states that faster moving air has lower pressure than slower moving air. You can demonstrate this yourself with a ping pong ball and a hairdryer. You put the ping pong ball on the stream of air from the hairdryer, and because it's moving quickly, it has lower pressure than the air around it. So the low-pressure air works sort of like a force field, and you can defy gravity with your floating ping pong ball. Awesome! But of course, this is Science Max Experiments at Large, so we have to max it out with a giant hairdryer and a giant ping pong ball. Sorry, I said science! You probably couldn't hear me because of the...
So, our giant paper airplane turned out to be really floppy. When paper is that large, it doesn't hold together very well. What we're going to do is take foam and long sticks and tape it to the large paper airplane wherever we need to give it support. So, here, and here, here, and a bunch there, and maybe some over there. Well, it turned out we needed to reinforce in a lot of places.
There, and then that. Great, look at that. It's not even flopping around, it stands under its own weight. Huh?
There's a whole bunch of stuff on it. I don't know if it's gonna fly so well.
Oh, it's gonna be, well, I mean, I have to put the stuff on it so it doesn't flop around.
But there's like really a lot of stuff.
Well, I needed this foam to reinforce this foam, and then I needed the cardboard to reinforce both of those.
Phil, there's a giant hole in the wing.
Well, I can fix that. Just move your head, and then I'll just...
Phil, there's a lot of stuff on here.
There.
But like it's really a lot.
Problem solved.
Guys, let's just fly it.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, let's do it, let's do it. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Maiden voyage of the Mark II giant paper airplane. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So it went about 3 feet. So that didn't work.
I told you, too much stuff.
You did. He told me that.
He said that.
He said that.
What we need is something that's stiffer without as much stuff on it.
But the paper, it's too floppy, so you have to put the stuff on.
Right.
How about some cardboard? Cardboard's nice and stiff, and technically it's paper.
You're right, cardboard. Let's make it out of cardboard.
Yeah.
Cardboard, all right. Oh, yeah, it's over here. Tornadoes are giant weather systems that cause the air to go around and around. Tornadoes can be pretty dangerous, but they don't happen that often. Here's how you can make your own small pet tornado you can play with at home. Because air and water behave similarly, we can make a water tornado. You spin it around, get it going, and ta-da, your very own pet tornado. Here's how you do it. You take two 2-liter plastic bottles and fill one with water and some blue food coloring, is what I like to do. And then tape the mouths of the bottles together. You might need an adult to help you with this because you want to make sure the bottles are perfectly aligned. Then flip it over, spin it around to get it going, and voila, your very own pet tornado. Awesome. And now we're gonna max it out with a giant tornado chamber. Hey, Michaela.
Hey, Phil.
So this is your giant tornado. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I made one with plastic bottles and water, but this one uses air, just like real tornadoes do in the wild.
That's right.
So how does this work?
Well, here we have a platform, but underneath that there's a fog machine that's pushing the fog up. And we've created an updraft because there's a fan at the top that's pushing air out of the top. And also we're trying to mimic the intense winds you'd get from a tornado with these pillars that are shooting out air in this direction.
So it goes around in a circle.
Yeah, in real life, tornadoes are pretty rare. You need a perfect set of conditions to see them. You need warm, humid air and cold, dry air. And as well, some intense winds that you usually get from thunderstorms.
Science! If I was to drop this light basketball and this heavy workout ball at the same time, which do you think will hit the ground first? Let's find out. They landed at the same time. That's because everything falls at the same rate. It doesn't matter how heavy or how light something is. Until things are falling fast enough that air friction or drag starts to play a factor. Soon, things reach their top speed. This top speed is called terminal velocity. It means I could throw this basketball from an airplane and it might not be going any faster than if I threw it from, say, 10 stories up. I'm gonna find out what the terminal velocity is for both of these objects when we max this out. Ninja science roll! Here's how terminal velocity works. Everything falls at the same rate, going faster as gravity pulls it down. But when things start going so fast that just pushing through the air at that speed creates as much force as the pull of gravity, things reach a top speed and they won't go any faster. How heavy something is and how much air it pushes both play a factor in its top speed. And that top speed is called terminal velocity. How cool is that? I'm at iFly Toronto. This is a giant wind tunnel, and they've got the wind going fast enough that they can't fall any faster. It's the terminal velocity for a human being. I'm gonna take our weighted ball and our basketball and place them both here in the wind chamber. This is the control panel, which is what they use to control the wind speed inside the chamber. And this is Derek, who's gonna be operating it. And that is Mike and Greg, and they're inside the chamber. All right, let's fire it up.
All right, firing it up.
35, 58, nothing happening yet. This number here is the one we're looking at to see how fast the air is moving. 86, something's starting to happen. Oh, 89, wind speed of basketball, 89 kilometers an hour. At 89 kilometers per hour, the wind is going fast enough that the friction of the wind and the pull of gravity balance out, making the basketball float. This means you could throw a basketball out of an airplane and it would never go any faster than 89 kilometers per hour. All right, let's keep increasing the speed. 106, 124 kilometers an hour, 140, 150. Oh, 166, almost. 172, whoa. Wind speed of the heavy red ball, 173 kilometers an hour. Because the red ball is heavier than the basketball, we need a lot more wind speed to counteract the force of gravity before they cancel out and the ball floats. Here's something else that's going on that's cool. Mike is flying, but Greg is not. That's because Mike is lying down, which means he's catching a lot more wind than Greg is, who's standing straight. If Mike stays lying down, his terminal velocity is the same as the red ball, 173 kilometers per hour. But Greg's velocity would have to be a lot faster. And that's science! So the giant paper airplane hasn't been working so well. The problem is paper can't hold up its own weight when it's that large. Cardboard is much stronger than paper, so we've decided to rebuild the plane out of cardboard.
All right, Phil, hoist it up.
Then we take it to the roof of the Science Center and see if we can get it to fly. Oh, woo! There you go, our Mark III model paper airplane. Now, I know it's made out of cardboard, but cardboard is technically paper, and it's the only thing strong enough to hold a plane of this size together. We even had to put some poles in so the wings still wouldn't flap, but we're pretty confident this is gonna work. Okay.
All right, Phil, we're in position.
Now, don't try this at home. Our roof has a big wall on the edge. Your roof does not. Our first attempt didn't go so well. Looks like we have a bit too much pitch. Our second attempt still had a bit too much pitch. Time to add some weight to the nose. We added some clips to the front to give it a little bit more weight on the nose, which is important. Although at this point, I kind of wish there was less weight. Whoa, okay, all right.
Phil, that was great!
Woo! All right! Woo! This throw worked best, but I know what you're thinking.
Why didn't it sail through the air like a normal paper airplane does? Well, that's because the other thing heavy planes need to fly is thrust. So we could put an engine on our plane, but then we'd have to use something stronger than cardboard, and well, pretty soon we'd have an actual plane. But this isn't about making a full-size plane. This is
Largest paper airplane I've ever thrown! Woohoo! Hey, you guys are great! The plane is great! Thank you very much for watching Science Max Experiments at Large. Where were the stairs? Yeah. Oh, never mind, I found them.
Science Max is a show where we take small experiments and do them big. If you want to try these experiments yourself, go to our website for instructions. But not all the experiments on Science Max are the kind you should try at home. This one, yes. This, no. Try this, don't try this. A big yes, a big no. I don't know how you could possibly do this one at home. And remember, if you're ever not sure, ask an adult. Thanks for watching Science Max Experiments at Large.
Science Max!
Today's episode is about friction.
How can I hang onto this rope without falling?
Can we reduce it so we can slide around?
I'm going towards the wall!
Can we increase it so I can climb a wall?
Ha-ha! I did it!
Can I use it to fly? Yup! Friction! Today on Science Max Experiments at Large.
Hey, Science Maximites, slippery. But that's okay, because today we're talking about friction. Friction is a force that is everywhere and happens when any one thing rubs against any other thing. We do lots of things to increase friction, like wear shoes with big treads on them. And we can do things to reduce friction, like the experiment we're doing today. We're gonna build a hover disc, and it's very easy. You take some cardboard and cut it into a circle, just like this. Then put a hole in the middle of the circle. You might want an adult to help you with that. And then take a plastic drink bottle cap, like this. I like use the ones that you get on sport bottles because they have a little nozzle that pops open or closed. And then you glue it around the circle and you get this. Then you need a balloon. So you blow up your balloon. I know you know that step. And then twist the balloon so it doesn't get away from you. When it's nice and twisted, you can stick it over the drink bottle cap like this, and then untwist it. And this is why I like to use the plastic drink bottle caps that come from sport bottles, because you can open it when you want. And when you do, your disc rides on a cushion of air, reducing the friction with the table, and it's almost like it's sliding on ice. You can also use CDs if you want to do a different design. Just make sure you're using CDs you never want to listen to again. Now, if any of this is too fast, don't worry. You can always go to the Science Max website, where we have all of the instructions. And now, it's time to max it out. We're going to see if we can make a human-sized, rideable, low-friction hover disc. I'm going to the Ontario Science Centre, where hopefully I have an expert that can help me. Door is stuck. I think there's a little bit too much friction with it. No. That's got it.
Oh no, this isn't the Science Center. Did I go back in time again?
Oh. It is the Science Center. Helena, hi.
Hey, Phil. You're here to see the hover disc.
Yes, please.
All right, come on, right this way.
So I made one in the lab that works pretty great. It's on cardboard and it has a balloon. The one you have here works on the same principle?
Yeah, it does. But you know what? My friend Russell has some ideas about making something like this, but even bigger.
Do you think we can make one big enough to ride?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at the one you have here. Oh, I see. Right, this one works the same as the one I made. It's really hard to move the disc, but if you add some air, it floats like a dream.
There we go.
Great, so let's ride it.
Whoa, Phil, not this one, the one upstairs. You can ride that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we bring this one just in case?
No, it's a little heavy. I think we can leave it there.
What if we need it for reference?
No, I'm sure we'll be okay.
It is pretty heavy.
Yeah,
but-
come on. Let's go. Russell's waiting.
Are you sure we won't need
I'm
it?
positive.
Okay, but if we have to come back, I get to say I told you so.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Ramona, you change your hair? Yeah, it's nice. It's like doing this now. Because but now it's, yeah, I like it. You should give me the name of your guy, because I wanted to, hey, oh, hey, how are you? You ever think to yourself, no matter what I do, I can't seem to get anywhere. I can't get enough traction? Well, you, my friend, need some more friction. Which one of these two shoes has more friction? Take a closer look. Huh? Right, bam. This one doesn't have a lot of treads. It doesn't have a lot of friction. But this one, it's got metal spikes on the bottom. This is called a cleat, and the spikes are for helping you grip onto the grass when you're playing soccer or golf, increasing its friction. Why do you think skis are smooth on the bottom? Come on, look at that. It's so smooth and glidey. My hand I can barely even touch the surface. It just slides right off. It's sort of glidey and smooth. They're smooth to help you glide across the snow, reducing their friction. Why doesn't this box slide down this ramp? Friction. This roller skate has wheels. Wheels reduce friction. But when I push the roller skate, how come it doesn't just keep rolling forever and ever and ever and ever? And going all the way around the world and writing a memoir. Say it with me. Friction. Louder. Friction. Can't hear you. Friction. Little too loud. Friction. Ease it back. Friction. How can I hang onto this rope without falling? Friction. How can I jump down on the floor without falling over? Friction. And now you know your friction. Your friction. Your friction. Come on. Uh-oh. Oh, Ramona, the friction sign is broken. Reset. Uh-oh.
The plan is to take our small hover disc and make one big enough to ride. So I'm off with Helena to another part of the Science Center to meet Russell, who has some ideas on how we can do it.
Oh, hey, Russell.
Hey, hi, Elena. Hey, Phil.
How you doing, Russell?
How you doing, Phil?
So this is the hover disc.
This is our small hover disc, yes.
How does it work?
Well, obviously you sit on here,
Right.
Air will go into here. It gets vented through all these separate holes here, so we get an airflow over the entire area. Hopefully this will work to pick someone up. All we need is...
Air.
Oh, well, that's easy, because the small one worked like this, so we just put the balloon on, right?
I hope you got
Okay, so we put the balloon on the... hold on. Larger balloon!
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Uh-oh, twist it so it doesn't...
He's losing his air.
Okay, all right. On you get.
You grab
Right.
one side, I'll grab the other.
Okay, here we go.
Go.
It doesn't...
Still way too much
It doesn't
friction
feel
on
like
No.
it still feels pretty frictiony. I think we might need something more than a balloon. So what do we do?
Well, I think we need more consistent air going through here.
Okay. So not a balloon.
Not a balloon, something, I don't know, opposite to a vacuum cleaner?
Opposite to a vacuum cleaner. That would be
Like a leaf blower.
Like a leaf blower.
a leaf blower.
Right?
High five.
Yeah.
Awesome idea.
Yeah, leaf
so
blower it is.
why don't we make a couple larger discs when we'll hook some leaf blowers to them and we'll see what happens.
Definitely give it a go.
Okay, great. Carbon is an atom and is the basic building block of all life as we know it. You, me, all plants, all animals are carbon-based life forms. Other things are made of carbon too. Diamonds are carbon, coal is carbon, even pencil lead isn't lead, it's graphite, which is carbon. If you were to take all the carbon atoms in your body, you could fill 9,000 pencils. Of course, kind of prefer my carbon where it is.
our low-friction hover disc still had way too much friction. One of the problems that Russell mentioned is that the balloon just wasn't giving enough air. But then Helena had the idea of using a leaf blower instead. The plan now is to make a leaf blower powered disc by starting with a big circle of wood, cutting a hole in the wood where the air will come through, and then covering the bottom with a tarp that has many holes cut out of it for the air to escape. Because leaf blowers are made to push lots of air, hopefully there'll be enough for me to ride it.
Well, this is the business. Look at this.
That's amazing.
It's good, right?
Oh, yeah, I love the tube. You know, high volume of air through that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a dryer vent I just found it in the lab. And then this, of course, is a leaf blower. So I get on here, and then Helena, if you want to turn it on.
Yeah.
So once we fire it up, the air coming out from the bottom of the disc raises me up, and I float on a cushion of air.
I can't control it.
Because the friction between the disc and the floor is so low, I end up floating wherever Helena and Russell push me.
I'm going towards the wall. It's like human air hockey. Okay. It's a bit unstable. Do I turn it off?
Wow, that worked amazing.
Not too much control, though.
I have no control whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
But this is great. So so we have the no friction down pat. I feel we need some way to actually move.
Well, something to push you along. I was thinking as you were going, like, you need like a broom or something.
A broom. Okay, yeah. What if we do like something low friction, like a broom, and something high friction, like that we could really sort of stick on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
works for me.
And then we could build two of them, and we would have two discs and two ways of moving them.
Are we gonna race?
And we can race! Yeah! Okay,
Yeah.
race. That's what we're gonna do. Here is an experiment you can do at home with friction. This is a toy boat. Yes, you guessed that right. And this is a wooden plank. Correct, that's 2 for 2. I put the boat on the ramp and watch what happens. Nothing! The reason why is because the friction between the boat and the ramp is enough to counteract the force of gravity trying to pull it down. But watch what happens if I raise the ramp to the right height, the boat slides down because the friction isn't enough and gravity pulls it down. But when we change surfaces to this carpet, let's see what happens. Same angle, I can raise it higher, 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 because there's more friction between the carpet and the boat than there was between the wood and the boat. Now, if you're thinking that we're just gonna do it with a small ramp, you're wrong. Because of course we're gonna max it out. Hey, Helena.
Hey.
This is amazing.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Wow.
Ready to climb it?
Absolutely. Here we go.
Way to go.
Huh? No problem. So that was very easy.
Well, that's probably because the friction from your shoes is high enough so you don't slip.
Right, and the friction from my clothes is much lower, which is why I could slide down.
Right.
So how do we make it more difficult?
We'd probably have to make it higher.
All right, let's make it higher.
With the ramp at a steeper angle, I'll need more friction to climb up.
All right,
Ready?
I'm totally ready. Here I go. You try.
Okay, hold my drink. Here we go. Ooh.
Oh, so clearly we are not getting enough friction between our shoes and the ramp at this angle.
We should add some carpet, because carpet would add some more friction between our shoes and the ramp.
All right, let's add carpet. Sorry, here's your drill.
Thanks.
All right, carpet.
Yeah?
Same angle.
Yes.
And why have we done this?
More friction.
More friction. Let's give it a try.
Hey, way to go.
Totally able to climb the ramp. So, what do we do now to make it harder?
Make it higher.
Make it higher. Wow, it's really steep.
I don't think you're gonna make it.
Sure, if I take a really good run at it, I think I can do it.
I don't think so.
Well, there's one way to find out. No.
No.
Okay, so I can't do it. Is that it?
Well, how about Velcro,
Wow.
right? It'll give you more friction, so you can try climbing with this. We'll give you Velcro knee pads, Velcro shoes.
Velcro. Velcro handholds, Velcro knee pad, Velcro on my shoes, helmet for safety, Velcro fill, Velcro dance. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
All right, here we go. Ha-ha, I did it! Creating friction between me and this ramp means I can stay up here for as long as I... No. No, Velcro. No. No.
Phil, you okay?
Velcro! Friction! Your turn.
No.
Our hover disc worked well. So well that we decided to build another. If we have 2 hover discs, then we can race them using different kinds of friction to push them along. Something that has low friction, like a dust mop, and something that has higher friction, like a pole with rubber balls at the end. Rubber has great friction. That's why we make car tires and the treads of our shoes out of rubber. Okay, we have a giant race course that we've set up. We've got 2 low-friction hover discs, and I'm gonna use the low-friction dust mop version to propel my hover disc. And Helena, what do you have?
I have the high-friction rubber ball stick.
Start your engines! On your marks, get set, and go! And we're off. Remember, Helena and I are using very different methods to get our hover discs moving. I'm using a low-friction dust mop, and Helena is using high-friction rubber balls. As you can see, my low-friction dust mop doesn't make enough friction with the ground for me to push myself. Helena, on the other hand, is having no problems.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Go ahead! Beat him! He's way back! Forward! Bit further! Bit further! He's way back for the win! It's the winner! She crosses the line!
Yes!
And there we have our winner. Yes! Over the finish line. It feels way back over there.
Oh, man.
I'm still stuck at the second turn. Way to go, Helena.
Thank
Nice.
you.
So what was the strategy? How did it work?
Well, pretty much while I was using those red balls, I was getting friction, helping me steer.
You know what? I think we need a little bit more thrust. That would work even better if we had something pushing us even harder.
Definitely.
Wait. I have an idea. Wait, hold. I need your help. Come on. I'm at iFly Toronto indoor skydiving to talk to you about friction. That's Mike. He's gonna help me out. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, we can't hear what Phil is saying because there's too much wind. It looks like he's trying to tell us something about the friction. Yes, he's saying the friction from the air rushing up in the chamber is enough to counteract the force of gravity, which is why he's able to float or swim or whatever he's doing. Now it looks like he might be saying even something like air can have a lot of friction if it's going fast enough. And the air in this chamber is going fast, which is why we can't hear a word he's saying. Oh, well, he seems to be having fun. So how important is friction? Well, let's say I'm out for a drive. Car tires need friction to grip onto the road. Without it, my car wouldn't be able to turn at all. But that's nothing. Without friction, the bolts holding the wheels on the car wouldn't work. In fact, none of the bolts, screws, or glue on the car would work, and nothing would stop moving or stick to anything else. Even the trees would blow away with the slightest breeze. Friction is everywhere. And without it, nothing would work.
Okay, hover disc race round 2. This time we decided to have a little bit more thrust, so Helen and I are going to be using fire extinguishers. Now, do not use fire extinguishers at home. Fire extinguishers have a very important purpose, and it's not for this, but we've got these ones special. Are you ready, Helena?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Russell?
So, racers, start your engines. And go!
Using fire extinguishers gives us a lot of thrust. But because the discs we're riding on don't have any friction, wherever we point ourselves, we just keep going in that direction, which makes steering very difficult. Cars grip onto the road and can go around corners thanks to the friction of their wheels. When you have no friction, it's kind of like moving on an ice rink.
Oh, no! I'm out! High five! Yeah! High five! Yeah! Okay, wait. Oh, I ran out of fire extinguisher at the end there, so I had to cheat a little bit. So 1 for you, 1 for me, and all of them for friction.
Or the lack of friction.
Or the lack of friction. Science Max, experiments at large. What do we do next? Larger fire extinguishers?
I think so.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
See you next time. I know where we can get some, actually. We can go, if we go to the fire extinguisher store where we got these fire extinguishers, we can get like a rack.
Science Max is a show where we take small experiments and do them big. If you want to try these experiments yourself, go to our website for instructions. But not all the experiments on Science Max are the kind you should try at home. This one, yes. This, no. Try this, don't try this. A big yes, a big no. I don't know how you could possibly do this one at home. And remember, if you're ever not sure, ask an adult. Thanks for watching Science Max Experiments at Large. Science Max! It's time to get stuck on magnets. What's our attraction to magnets? What's their attraction to each other? And can I use magnets to levitate and float in the air? All on this episode of Science Max Experiments at Large.
Greetings, Science Maximites. Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil, and today we're going to be looking at the power of magnets. You see, magnets are fun things to experiment with because they are really, they're really interesting. This magnet that I've got here is a neodymium magnet, or a rare earth magnet. It's one of the strongest magnets you can get. A magnet is an object that is attracted to anything that is ferromagnetic, which is iron, nickel, or cobalt. And magnets are interesting because they have two sides. There are two poles. I'd show you, but I can't get the chain off. Hold on one second. Ha-ha! There are two. Oh, no. There are two poles to every magnet, just like the Earth. There is a North Pole and a South Pole. That's right, the Earth is a giant magnet. So, if you take kitchen magnets, you'll find that there's two different poles. I've written north and south on these ones. They don't normally come like that. If you put the north and the south together, they stick. But if you put the north and north or south and south together, they repel. They repel, see? They don't want to go together at all. And you can force them together if you want, but if you do, they will spring away the second you let them go. Woo! But when magnets repel each other, I find that some of the most interesting stuff. Check this out. This is just a small container, and I've got a magnet in here, and I have a loonie attached to it so that it fits nicely in the container like that. For the top, I've attached two magnets together, and I have another coin on it.
And if you put them in there, I've made sure that the two poles repel each other, which means this magnet will just sit there and float. Magnetic levitation. Very interesting. And you can pop the top on that if you want and just carry around a levitating magnet. Now, there's a couple fancier ways you can levitate stuff with magnets. This is just a wooden frame I've made. This is completely not necessary. You can use just about anything in your house. A desk lamp works really well. The important part is I've tied a magnet to the end of this arm here, and this is a bolt, which is attracted to the magnet, but it's got a thread tied to it, so it can't get there. Just far enough that it will actually hang in mid-air. Look at that, it's not attached to anything, it's just being pulled up by the attraction from the magnet. The thing is, as soon as you pull the bolt away far enough, it will lose the attraction and it'll just fall. Very cool. Here's one that's a little bit more complicated, but is also really neat. This one uses disc magnets, which have a circle or a hole in the middle of them here, and you put 2 around a pencil and then 4 more in such a position that you can put the pencil against this wood on the side and it will just levitate on its own. You can even give it a spin. Look at that. And if you want to make the levitating pencil yourself, there's step-by-step instructions on how to build an easy-peasy version on our website.
Meantime, we are gonna max this out. Magnetic levitation on Science Max Experiments at Large. But you're probably thinking, what are we going to levitate? Well, we're going to levitate me. At least, that's the plan. That's why I'm going to the Center for Skills Development and Training. Come on.
Okay, who turned out the lights? Ow, what was that? Why is this room so small? And only going down to waist level. This is the weirdest room I've ever been in. Where am I? What's going on?
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Phil.
This is Matt. He's from JobMaster Magnets. Now, you guys use lots of big magnets, right?
That's right, we do.
Awesome. So maybe you could help me max out this.
Wow. You did a great job of building the levitating pencil experiment.
Yeah, so what's going on here exactly?
Well, all magnets have at least a north and a south pole.
Right.
And when you put like poles together, they want to repel.
Oh, okay. So have you ever levitated a person?
Not yet.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Do you think we can use these?
We can try.
Okay, well, put that one on the ground. And, okay, so north, and I'll put the north one on my foot here. And then if I just step, oh, wait a minute. If I step, stop moving. If I step on the, okay, well, first of all, this magnet keeps sort of moving away from me when I try to push down on it. What do we do? How do we fix this?
Well, we need to keep the magnets in position so that they don't move around when you try to bring them together.
Yeah, because I have to come straight down on it, don't I?
That's right.
So why don't we attach this one to the floor?
Good idea.
And then we'll put a board on this one, and we'll see how it goes.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
This is a magnet. This is a magnet. This is a magnet. This is a shoe. What's the difference? To know that, you have to know your magnets. This is a donut. It does not stick to this magnet. This is a spoon. It sticks to this magnet. These paper clips stick to this magnet. This shoe does not. So what is attracted to magnets? Only things that are ferromagnetic. Here's the difference. Horseshoe, horseshoe magnet. This one is a magnet. This one is not. But the horseshoe sticks to the horseshoe magnet because this one's a magnet and this one is ferromagnetic. Only things that are ferromagnetic are attracted to magnets. Things that are not attracted to magnets, they're not ferromagnetic. Plastic, banana, mitten, sandwich, magazine. No, But how do you know? Do you go around the world sticking a magnet to every single thing one at a time?
Hey, Ma, I need you to come over. I need to see if you're ferromagnetic. No, ferromagnetic.
No, you don't need to do that. First of all, only metals are ferromagnetic. So that eliminates all your clothing, your luncheon meats, your magazines, what have you. Everything that's non-metal, you don't need to worry about.
Never mind, Ma, it doesn't matter.
But this clock is metal. It doesn't stick. Well, not all metals are ferromagnetic. Mainly just the ones with iron, nickel, or cobalt. And there you have it. Now you know your magnets.
I hit the phone on the magnet there. Okay, can you hear me, Ma? Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone, Ma.
My first attempt at levitating had the magnet sliding all over. So the plan is to take the bottom magnet and attach it to a big wooden board so it won't go anywhere. Then attach another plank to the top magnet to make it a little easier to stand on.
Okay, that is definitely attached to the floor. Thank you. All right, now, if I just get this lined up. Whoa, look at that. You could totally, oh, wait a minute. Totally, it doesn't want to stay put. Oh, wait a minute. They levitate. Come on, levitate. Why doesn't it want to stay? It just doesn't. Should I stand on it? Okay, I'll stand on it. Here we go. And am I levitating?
No.
No. So why isn't this working?
Well, just like your pencil experiment, we need a shaft through the center to hold the magnets in position.
Oh yeah, maybe we could use like a ring magnet.
Yes.
That like we used with the pencil.
Right.
And
we're gonna need stronger magnets.
we're gonna need stronger magnets. Are the ring magnets strong?
Yes, they can be.
Awesome. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Now it's time for a Science Max quiz. Which one of these things do we have magnetism to thank for? Birds flying south in the winter, music, or a sandwich? If you picked A, you're right. Some birds migrate in the spring and fall using the Earth's magnetic field. Many animals can sense the Earth's magnetic field and use it to navigate. Migrating birds fly hundreds or thousands of kilometers north or south when they migrate in the spring and fall. A compass works the same way, by using magnetism to point to the Earth's magnetic North Pole. But if you picked B, music, you're right! Here's some music. The way you're hearing this music is because the musicians recorded their instruments using microphones, which use magnets. And then the signal was translated by a computer and stored on its hard drive, which uses magnets. Then it was broadcast to your TV and comes out your speakers, which use, you guessed it, magnets. And for those of you who said you have magnetism to thank for your sandwich, haha, well, you're right. You see, you'd probably go to the kitchen to make that sandwich, right? Well, I'm guessing you got all of the tasty ingredients from your refrigerator? Well, it works on electricity, which is produced by magnets. And then there's an electric motor in the fridge that circulates the air and keeps it cool. And guess what? Magnets. And finally, the door on your fridge stays closed because the door has magnets. So there you go. You can thank magnetism for birds flying south, music, and your sandwich. It just goes to show, when you're talking about magnets, everybody wins because magnets are everywhere. This has been a Science Max quiz.
Here's an experiment you can do with a bag of water. Take a sharpened pencil and carefully push it through the bag. If you do it carefully, it won't spill. The reason this works is because the bag is made of polymers, long stretchy chains of molecules, and also because the pressure of the water against the pencil prevents any water from spilling out. Now, we're gonna max it out.
this is a very large bag of water, and here I have some very large pencils. You ready? Oh. That's one. That's two. Here we go. Should I go from the bottom? Ta-da! Science! Okay. I know what you want. Like I was saying, science! Turns out trying to balance two repelling magnets on top of each other is pretty much impossible. Here's why. This is a magnet, and here is the magnetic field. It's often drawn with lines like this, but actually the magnetic field radiates out in all directions. Really, think of the magnetic field kind of like a ball. When you try to balance another magnet on top of the first magnet, it's about as hard as balancing one ball on top of another ball. So here's the plan. Just like the levitating pencil, we're going to use ring magnets because we can put a shaft through the center of one ring, then drop another ring magnet on the shaft. It will keep them perfectly aligned. Then it's just a matter of putting the bottom magnet on a board to keep it stable and using another board so I can stand on it, and ta-da! Magnetic levitation! Or at least that's the plan.
Okay. Board.
Magnets.
Magnets. Ooh, look at that. Awesome. And now I'm gonna put the platform on. Nice. I got some weights here. Let's see how this works. Yeah. This is gonna work amazing. All right, think I should try it?
Give it a try.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah! I'm doing it! I'm levitating! What?
Just a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do we do?
We need more power.
More power? I like that idea. How do we give it more power?
More shafts, more magnets.
Okay, sure. Well, why don't we do 1, 2, 3, 4 shafts, and then we'll have magnets on all the shafts.
Great idea.
All right. Let's do it. If you attach something ferromagnetic like this washer to a magnet, not only does it stick, but the magnetic field travels down the metal, making it a magnet too, which means you can stick more and more things to each other, and they will continue to stick until you run out of magnetic field. You can do this yourself at home with anything ferromagnetic. Paper clips work pretty well, or washers like I have, or screws or bolts, and they'll continue to stick to each other as long as the magnetic field is strong enough. You can see it's getting pretty weak here, and they'll all stay magnetized as long as the first one is still attached to the magnet. But if you want to go even further, all you need to do is keep adding more magnets to reinforce the magnetic field. I've got a few here, like this. Get the chain started, like that. And then I've got a magnet attached to this washer, so it will keep the magnetic field strong. And I continue to add one magnet, one washer, and we'll just see how far I can go. You can even sculpt it a little bit. Look at that. And then at the end, a whole bunch of paper clips. Eventually, the weight will make it fall off, but it's a lot of fun to play with magnets and make art. Speaking of art you can make with magnets, you can also make sculptures. When everything sticks to everything else, you can make some pretty fancy designs. This is a rare earth magnet, a very strong one, and a bunch of nuts that I've gotten. And this one here is an electromagnet, but electromagnets are a little different because they need an electric current to work. Check this out. This is sort of a magnet dude with crazy hair.
there's an earth magnet here, and this is a giant screw, and these are some metal bits, and then I've got 2 more magnets at the top here to hold on his crazy wire hair. He's got crazy wire hair because he's crazy magnet dude. Now, of course, we couldn't just talk about magnetic sculptures without maxing it out, so let's max it out. This is a bunch of scrap metal from leftover experiments, and I've got a bunch of rare earth magnets, and now I'm gonna max out a magnet sculpture. Let's see. There you go, a maxed out magnet, me! I made this guy out of metal pipes with earth magnets in between, and these are his arms attached, of course, with magnets. His hand, his little metal pieces attached with magnet. Steel wool for the hair, and of course, hat, non-magnetic. All right, here we go, ready? Want to see a magic trick? Simple copper tube. Drop things through it. Nothing unusual happens, but watch when I drop a magnet through. What? It's not magic, it's science. Because the magnet creates a magnetic field, when it goes through the tube, the magnetic field repels the magnet upwards. Now, the field isn't perfect, so the magnet doesn't come to a stop, but still, it slows down from a fall to a nice, graceful drop. Take a look from above. Pretty amazing, right? Magnets, not magic, science. So I've managed to levitate on some magnets, but just barely. What Matt and I needed was more power. So instead of having 1 shaft and 1 pair of ring magnets, we're going to use a larger board and put a shaft on each corner. Then we'll have 4 times the power because we're using 4 times the magnets. Hopefully this will be strong enough to get me floating on a cushion of magnetic energy. And magnets?
Magnets.
Okay, here we go. This is gonna work great. And top board. Ooh, what do you think?
Looks great.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Matt?
You're levitating.
I'm levitating! Woohoo! All right. It feels cool. It sort of feels like surfing a little bit. All right, thank you so much, Matt. That was amazing. And there you have it. Science Max, experiments at large, magnetic levitation. You know, I'm surprised we could do an entire episode on magnets, and we never actually got them so close to the camera that the camera went all weird, because cameras and magnets, they don't, oh dear. No, that's okay. I can fix this. If I just maybe, no. Maybe if I put the magnet to the camera again, that would, okay, that's not, that didn't help. Oh, okay, well, thanks very much for watching Science Max, experiments at large, and we'll see you again as soon as we get into the camera.
Science Max!
3, 2, 1. We're really under pressure during this episode of Science Max. Compressing a gas till it's pressurized is how we can do this, and this, and to a lesser degree, this.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure.
Pressure, today on Science Max, experiments at large. Phil to Mission Control. Come in, Mission Control. This is Mission Control, Phil. We read you loud and clear. Greetings, Science. Greetings, Science Maximites. Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil McCordick, and today we're gonna be building an air-powered rocket. Too difficult, you say? Nonsense, it's easy. It's not like it's rocket science. Hey, it is rocket science. Cool! Here's what you need. You need a bottle and a cork. Make sure that the cork fits nicely into the bottle, and then you need an air pump, because you can't have an air-powered rocket without air. And on this air pump, you need a pin, the special kind that you use to inflate basketballs or volleyballs or stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is push the pin through the cork. You might want an adult's help for this. Push it through until it goes through on the other side, and then make sure you get a good seal with the bottle. Now you're ready to launch your rocket with air pressure. But first, let's do a few other things. Take your cork and put it in a tripod launcher. You can make this out of pencils or anything you want, as long as it stands up nice and solidly. And then, of course, you want to decorate your bottle so it looks like a rocket. This is my rocket. Pretty good, right? So stick the bottle on the cork like before, like that. And then you stick the pin in the bottom. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna inflate the bottle with air pressure, and then it's gonna launch. Okay, here we go. You know, rocketry really isn't something you should do indoors. Come on.
This was supposed to be a field. What's going? Why are there? Oh, it's in my shoe.
Oh, this will do nicely. Now, don't forget to do this with an adult, and don't forget your safety glasses. Now set up the rocket in a nice big open area and make sure it's pointed away from you. And then what you do is you pump the air pump. And it puts air into the rocket, which pushes down on the water, which will push down on the cork, until eventually So be Science Maximites and come up with your own rocket design. Try different amounts of water, different fins, even a different sized bottle. Try it for yourself and see if you can get one that goes higher than mine just did. How did I get in? I think it was this way.
Do you want step-by-step directions on how to build your own air-powered rocket? Well, don't worry. Everything you need is on our website.
All right, now it is time to max out our air-powered rocket. I've got Adam here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Adam's from Logix Academy, and you guys go into schools and talk about science.
We do.
Fantastic. Do you guys do a air-powered rocket?
Yes, exactly.
Does it look like this one?
Looks exactly like that.
Oh, that's great. So how do we max this out?
So we want to add more pressure to this bottle to try to get it to launch a little bit higher.
More air.
More air.
Great, so what do we do?
So we're going to use one of these.
Ooh.
It's the air compressor.
Right, which works a lot like the bike pump, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So we're going to have compressed air coming from here through this tube into underneath here.
Yeah.
And out that nozzle there, and you're going to put your bottle on top.
And out the nozzle
like
into
that.
the bottle, like that.
Yep, and now we want to be able to hold it in place. So we're going to have these little fingers here that are actually going to work to hold it until we want to let it go. So we're going to lock it in place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Totally locked.
Exactly.
And then what? How do we launch
Now,
it?
you're going to take this cord and go a safe distance away, and we are going to pull it.
And then we would pull it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should use this one here.
Okay, great. Now we put water in it, right?
Yep, you're gonna put water in there.
Why do we use water?
So the water is gonna act to push the rocket up into the air. The compressed air in here is gonna shoot the water out the back, and the water is gonna push on the rocket and make it launch. It's just to give it a little extra push.
How do I get it on there without spilling any water?
So just rest it next to the
Just go
launcher
fast?
there. Yeah, just go really fast.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we
A
go.
little bit.
Haha. And then
Lock it in place.
locking it in place. There's no
Okay.
air pressure in the hose yet, right?
Not yet, no.
First, we have to spool out the launch cord. So the air compressor has the compressed air in it. It's ready to go.
Yep, it's all ready to go. We just need to connect the hoses.
Adam, I've noticed it's snowing a little bit. Do you think that's any reason why we should stop?
I don't think so.
No, the science must go on. Blast shields down. Connecting hoses.
When we connect the air hose, the pressure from the compressor travels down the line and into the bottle. You can see the bubbles of air going in. Those bubbles are carrying more air into the bottle, giving it more pressure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's the rocket. Let's do it again. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Success.
Success.
Nice.
So, small bottle worked really well. How do we make it bigger? I know, bigger nose cone?
I think a bigger bottle.
Oh, bigger bottle, yeah, of course, that's easy. How about this empty water bottle that we have now?
That might work, except that the top here is too big. I don't think it'll fit on our launcher.
Oh, yeah. So what should we use?
A 2-liter pop bottle might work a bit better because it'll be about the same size.
Oh, that's right. 2-liter pop bottles have the same opening as these small water bottles.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, let's make a couple rockets out of 2-liter pop bottles.
Awesome.
Pressure happens when you squeeze something or compress it. Solids do not compress very well. I will demonstrate. Solid? Is it compressing? No, okay. Liquids don't compress very well either. You can demonstrate this for yourself by getting a plastic water bottle and filling it right to the very top with water and putting on the cap and squeezing. You'll find that you can't really squeeze the bottle very much. But if you empty out half of the water, no, don't pour it on the floor, and then put the cap back on the bottle and try to squeeze it, you'll find that you can squeeze it a lot more. That's because gases compress much easier than solids or liquids. Here's what's going on. Say this container is, well, any container, and these magnets are air molecules. Now, I'm gonna put the magnets in pole to pole so they repel each other and wanna stay a certain distance apart, just like air molecules do. There we go, a container at normal gas pressure. Now, watch what happens when I add more gas molecules. They start to get squeezed together, and if I add more, the amount of space that each one gets is less and less. Now this container is under a lot of pressure. These molecules really want to escape through the top of the container, but they can't because I'm holding them down. If I took something like this plunger and I pushed them down even more, now they're really under pressure. They want to get out, but they can't because I'm holding them in. Now watch what happens when I let them go. They all pop out the top, and the container has returned to normal gas pressure. That's what happens when we put gas in a container like this one. These containers that hold compressed gas are made out of solid steel because you need something really strong or it might explode if you put too much gas pressure in it. That's why these are only filled up by professionals who know exactly how much pressure it can take. That is the power of pressure.
Our air-powered rocket was working pretty well, but there's always room to max it out. In order to do that, we need to understand how it works. First, we fill the bottle almost halfway with water, then we add air to the bottle. The air pressure builds up, and the air presses down on the water. The rocket takes off when we pull on the release valve, which was blocking the opening of the bottle. Once that happens, the air pushes out the water. It's the water that gives us our thrust, so the water is very important. Once all the water is gone, the air escapes and the bottle returns to normal air pressure. But by that time, it's high in the sky. Now the plan is to use 2-liter bottles instead of regular water bottles to see if they work better.
Now we've made a few more rockets out of 2-liter bottles, and I'm gonna fill this one up with water, and we're going to fire it again and see what happens. Now, the idea is that these will work better because they have more volume, and more volume means we could possibly put more air pressure in. It's hard to know until you try it, of course. But the other reason why it might work better is 2-liter bottles generally hold carbonated beverages, which means they already have to be made a little stronger than regular water bottles because they have to hold in the carbonation, which is just like air pressure. All right, ready to go. Okay, here we go. You ready, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, blast shield down. Pressurize! 3, 2, 1. Let's do another one. And 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Wow! This is the superhero design rocket, which I'm very excited about. All right, Adam, it's going really well. But before we fire this next one, how can we make it bigger, better, and more awesome?
You get more pressure.
More pressure. How do we do that?
Well, we're firing at about 90 PSI right now.
PSI, pounds per square inch of pressure, right?
Yep. So we could increase it.
We could increase it. So how, we're at 90 now, how high does the tank go?
Go to about 120.
120 PSI. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. 90, 110, 120. Should we fire it?
Let's fire it.
Let's fire it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, actually, it worked okay. There's just a piece missing here, but I think the bottle is still okay.
Yeah.
So, 2-liter bottle, full pressure. I think we can still make something even better, even more maxed out. What if we used an even bigger bottle? You know the 5-liter ones that you see on a water cooler?
Yeah.
You think we can use one of those?
Definitely. I think we could use that. We need to change the mouthpiece size
Yes.
to fit our launchers.
Well, let's do it.
Do it.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure. A whole kilogram is being pushed down on every square centimeter of my body. 103 kilopascals. Actually, 1 kilogram for every square centimeter on your body is the exact kind of pressure that you and I are under at all times every day. We don't notice it because we're used to it, but it sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is. Here's an experiment you can do with a plastic bottle. Say at room temperature, there are 10 million air molecules in here. Doesn't really matter how many, but we'll say there's 10 million at normal room temperature. What happens if I heat up the air inside this bottle? This is warm water. What I'm trying to do is heat up the air inside the bottle because the air molecules, when they get hotter, move faster and need more room. So the 10 million air molecules are starting to escape out the mouth of the bottle and reducing the number of air molecules inside. And now I take the bottle out and cap it. Because the air molecules heated up and speeded up, they needed more room. Now there's less of them in the bottle. There's about 4 million air molecules inside this bottle, but they're all hot air molecules and they have a higher pressure, and you don't notice it because the air out here isn't crushing the bottle. But watch what happens if I cool the air inside the bottle. This is ice water. So what's happening now is the molecules are slowing down and they need less space. So they need less room and they're being crushed by the pressure on the outside of the bottle. Ha-ha! It has been crushed because the colder air molecules don't need the same kind of room as the hot air molecules. The room temperature air has crushed the bottle. The air inside has a lower pressure than the air outside. Pretty amazing. Even more amazing when we max it out. This is a steel drum. What we've done is we put some water in it and we're heating it up to boiling so there's nothing but hot air inside the drum. This is an airtight cap, which we use to seal the drum. And now we cool the drum off. Hey, Trevor, give me a hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, you lift! That's good. This pool is filled with ice. What we're doing now is cooling off the steel drum, which will cool off the air inside it. Which means, eventually, the air inside the steel drum will be a much lower pressure than the air outside the steel drum.
Because this steel drum has a lot more volume than a 2-liter pop bottle, it takes a lot longer for the air to cool down. The other thing to think about is that it's a steel drum. I could stand on it and it wouldn't even dent. But sure enough, after a few minutes...
Whoa! Check it out! The barrel has totally crushed. The low pressure air inside the barrel wasn't enough to withstand the force of the regular air pressure that you and I walk through every day. The air pressure all around us is enough to crush a steel drum. How cool is that?
Our air-powered rockets have been working really well, but we still want to go further. Since the 2-liter bottle worked better than the water bottle, we think increasing the size again might make it more awesome. So now the plan is to switch our 2-liter bottle with a 20-liter water cooler jug and make a rocket out of that. Because the launcher nozzle, which holds the bottle in place till we're ready to launch it, isn't going to fit the opening of this bigger jug, we've decided to use the cap that came with the jug. If we screw the cap on, it'll work sort of like the cork. The air pressure will press down on the water and keep pushing against the cap until the cap has a catastrophic failure, which is a very cool way of saying that eventually the cap will break and the bottle will shoot into the sky.
20-liter water cooler jug filled with some water. This is the cap that'll work sort of like the cork. We put the air pressure in there, the cap can't take it anymore, pops off, and the thing flies, hopefully. Let's find out. Okay, that looks good. There. Let's do this. Go for pressure! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hilarious! That worked pretty well. It sort of does that. I wonder if it's aerodynamic.
No.
No. So, what else can we do to make it even more maxed out?
I think we've used the 2-liter bottles to work really well.
The 2-liter bottles
Yeah.
are the best, right?
I think so.
So, what do?
I think we probably stack them. We stack them on top of each other.
Yeah.
That work.
I like that. So we put a whole bunch of them together.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. Why don't we use 3 stacks?
Awesome.
We'll use 3 stacks, 3 launchers, 3 times the thrust, and we'll make a giant rocket out of 2-liter bottle.
Yeah, great idea.
High fives. Here we go. Gas molecules get further apart when you warm them up and closer together when you cool them down. So what happens if you keep cooling them down? Well, they turn into this. This is liquid nitrogen. Nitrogen makes up 78% of the air we breathe, but when you cool it down to minus 196 degrees Celsius, it turns into a liquid. It's boiling right now because at room temperature, nitrogen wants to be a gas. So the liquid nitrogen is turning into gaseous nitrogen, and all of the extra molecules are escaping through the top of the bottle. So what happens if I put a cap on the bottle? Right now, the liquid nitrogen is turning back into a gas, but because there's a cap on the bottle, the gas has nowhere to go. So the pressure is just gonna keep building and building until the plastic bottle can't contain it anymore, and it pops like a balloon. Science!
Our rockets have gone from small to bigger to even bigger. Now the plan is to use 3 2-liter bottles and create columns of them into a giant rocket. We pressurize them just like we did before, but with more thrust, it might work even better. Even if it doesn't work better, I'm pretty excited about this new plan.
Giant rocket! Giant rocket! You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, blast shields down. Connecting hose. Dialing up pressure. Pressure is rising. It's bubbling. Bubbling. 100 PSI. Okay, stand by to fire. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Woo! Awesome! Yeah, let's go check it out. Well, there you have it. Rocket Science Max. Experiments at large. Well done. Nicely, nicely done. Do you think we could fire it again? Yeah, it looks like it needs some repairs, though. Yeah! My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big.
This is Science Max, experiments at large.
Science Max!